You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. A quote from Atomic Habits. Simple, yet deeply unsettling when you think about it. Because it means that all those goals you've set for yourself, the money, the success, the business, the dream life, none of it actually depends on your goals. It depends on your systems. The invisible routines, the boring habits, the daily discipline that nobody sees. And that's where most people lose. Not because they lack ambition, not because they don't dream big enough, but because they don't build systems to sustain their ambition. They dream like billionaires, but they act like tourists in their own potential. Every day, millions of people wake up with the same thought. I'm going to change my life. But by noon, that fire fades. Reality hits. Distractions come in. Comfort whispers. Fear of failure creeps up. And by nightfall, they're back scrolling, consuming, watching others live the life they say they want. But here's what separates the people who actually make it, the ones who build wealth, who transform themselves, from those who don't. It's not intelligence, it's not luck, it's not even opportunity. It's consistency. The ability to not give up, even when progress seems invisible. The truth is, growth rarely feels like growth. It feels like frustration. It feels like working hard and not seeing results. It feels like doubt. It feels like showing up every single day and wondering if any of this is even working. That's the part nobody tells you about success. That most of it feels like nothing is happening. Until suddenly, everything does. If you want to become rich, not just financially, but mentally and spiritually, you have to understand one psychological truth. Your mind adapts before your life does. That means before your bank account changes, your mindset must. Before the world believes in you, you must. Before opportunity finds you, discipline must already live inside you. You don't get rich by chasing results. You get rich by becoming the type of person who can produce results. That's where habits come in. Habits are your unconscious votes for the future you're building. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you cast a vote for your future wealth. Every time you say no to instant gratification, you say yes to long-term freedom. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. But that's how empires are built. In silence, through small decisions repeated over time. Let's talk about what's really stopping you. It's not your environment. It's not your past. It's not even your circumstances. It's the illusion that because you failed before, you'll fail again. It's the belief that your current pain defines your permanent reality. But the truth, pain is feedback. Pain is your mind telling you that you're growing beyond your comfort zone, that the old version of you is dying. Every successful person you admire has been exactly where you are, uncertain, insecure, exhausted. The difference is, they kept going. They kept pushing when the world told them to quit. They built when nobody cared. They showed up when they didn't feel like it. And that's the secret nobody wants to hear. Success isn't a feeling. It's a decision. There's a concept in psychology called the Valley of Disappointment. It's that long stretch of time between effort and visible results. Imagine planting a seed. You water it for weeks, you take care of it, and nothing happens. Most people give up there. But the ones who become truly successful understand that the roots are growing underground, even when nothing is visible above the surface. Your journey is exactly the same. You may not see the results yet, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. The foundation is being built. The systems are forming. The universe is testing whether you're truly serious about the life you say you want. Because here's a hard truth. Life only gives rewards to those who pass the test of patience. Everyone can work hard for a week. Most can work hard for a month. But the few, the rare few, who can stay disciplined for years, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching, even when they doubt themselves. Those are the ones who change their lives forever. Discipline isn't punishment. It's self-respect. It's proof that you believe in your future enough to act in alignment with it. Think of every disciplined choice as an investment. When you go to the gym, even when you don't want to, that's compound interest. When you read, when you learn, when you save, when you build something instead of wasting time, those are silent deposits in your future bank account. But there's a catch. Habits work both ways. You can build yourself or break yourself through them. Every action you repeat, even the small, harmless ones, they all add up. You're either training your brain to grow or to settle. You're either creating momentum or decay. And here's the most dangerous trap of all. Thinking you still have time. That's how procrastination disguises itself. Not as laziness, but as false confidence in tomorrow. I'll start next week. I'll fix my habits when I'm more motivated. But next week becomes next month. And next month becomes next year. Until one day, you wake up realizing the version of yourself you were supposed to become never existed. If you want to be rich, you have to kill that version of yourself that keeps waiting for motivation. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the fire. You don't wait for motivation to show up. You build routines that make it irrelevant. That's why systems matter. Systems are the invisible rails that keep you moving forward, even when your emotions try to pull you off track. You don't need to feel inspired to work. You just need a system that forces you to show up. Because action creates emotion, not the other way around. Every morning you wake up, you're either training yourself to quit or to continue. The moment you choose to stay consistent, you're rewiring your brain. You're teaching yourself that success is normal, that hard work is default, that effort is identity. That's where transformation begins, when discipline becomes part of who you are, not something you occasionally do. You stop saying, "I'm trying to be consistent." You become consistent. You stop saying, "I'm trying to be confident." You become confident. And that shift, that deep internal transformation, is where wealth truly begins. Because rich people, truly rich people, don't think in goals. They think in systems. They don't rely on emotion. They rely on structure. They don't chase outcomes. They build routines that make outcomes inevitable. So if you're thinking about giving up right now, don't. This is not the time to quit. This is the time to reframe what success means to you. Success isn't the goal you reach. It's the discipline you build. It's the ability to wake up every day, even when you're tired, even when nobody notices, and still give your best. You might not realize it now, but the struggle you're in, the one that feels endless, is the very process that's shaping you into the kind of person who can handle the life you've been asking for. The struggle is the price of admission. You can't skip it. You can't fast forward through it. You have to live it. You have to let it burn away the parts of you that were never meant to last. The old habits, the old excuses, the old fears. Because once those die, what's left is someone unstoppable, someone capable, someone ready. And when that person emerges, everything changes. Now, lean in, because this is the moment where most people quietly step off the path and tell themselves a polite story about why it wasn't the right time. Not you. You're here because something in you refuses to retreat. That part of you, the stubborn, relentless core, needs structure the way fire needs oxygen. So let's feed it. You've been told to dream big, but let's be precise. A dream without measurement dissolves into fantasy. What you measure, you manage. And what you manage, you multiply. Wealth, of skill, of opportunity, of money, appears when inputs become consistent and feedback becomes honest. The mind rebels against honesty because honesty is surgical. Honesty says, if it matters, put a number on it. Minutes practiced, messages sent, pages written, reps completed, dollars saved, offers made. If it matters, you track it. Not to punish yourself, but to make reality visible. Invisible progress is demoralizing. Visible progress is addictive. But you won't track if your internal identity is still arguing with your future. So anchor this now. You are the kind of person who does not skip twice. If you miss a day, you never miss two. That single rule rips failure out of the hands of perfectionism. You'll have off days. You'll be sick. Life will throw static into your plans. Fine. Miss once. Never twice. That's how you protect momentum from the sabotage of, I already ruined it, so why try? There's a reason the richest people in any field obsess over systems. Systems are ritualized forgiveness combined with non-negotiable standards. You decide your minimums. You design your triggers. You rehearse your resets. And two things become true at once. You are gentle with yourself and ruthless with your actions. The gentleness keeps you human. The ruthlessness keeps you moving. Let's go deeper into psychology. Your brain runs a cost-benefit analysis every time you act. If the perceived cost of disciplined action feels higher than the benefit, you stall. So tilt the game. Make the first step too small to fail. Default to 1 minute. 1 minute of writing. 1 minute of outreach. 1 minute of study. The point is not micro results. The point is micro commitment. Once you start, the friction drops. In behavioral science, this is called the activation energy problem. Most of the resistance is at the beginning. Lower it. The mind says, only a minute. Your body begins, and suddenly you're 20 minutes in. Do not argue with the brain at full force. Outsmart it with tiny entrances. Entrepreneurship isn't fireworks. It's experiments. You are not trying to guess the winner. You are running tests until reality reveals one. People quit because they treat every attempt as a verdict on themselves. It's not. It's data. This angle didn't convert. This offer attracted the wrong audience. This price point scared buyers. Good. Information collected. Iterate. The people who become wealthy don't avoid being wrong. They shorten the time between being wrong and trying again. That time compression is competitive advantage. Every day you take personally is a day you don't test. Every day you test is a day you move closer. You might say, "But I'm tired." Of course. Fatigue is part of transformation. But let's be accurate about the cause. You are not tired from doing too much hard work. You are tired from doing hard work while carrying a constant argument in your head. Remove the argument, and the same effort becomes lighter. Decide first. Debate never. The decision is the heavy lift. Once made, the actions are simply executed. Don't renegotiate your standards in the moment. You set them when you were clear. Follow them when you are cloudy. Discipline is easier when the environment conspires in your favor. People misunderstand willpower as a personality trait. It's a battery. It drains. Smart builders don't drain it early. They design their surroundings to do the lifting. If your phone is the problem, it sleeps in another room. If the couch seduces you at 6 p.m., you drive to the gym straight from work. If late-night snacking derails you, you change the grocery list, not your midnight intentions. You do not outperform your environment for long. You align it. That's not weakness. That's engineering. Let's talk money psychology, because wealth magnifies identity. If you build wealth without building discipline, you amplify chaos. Money goes where systems direct it. The undisciplined buy impulse and stories. The disciplined buy leverage and time. Before you ask, "How do I make more?" ask, "What will I do with more?" Answer that with a system. Fixed percentages. Automatic transfers. Investment rules you don't break. Set the rails before the train arrives. People think they need more money to act like wealthy people. In truth, they need to act like wealthy people to keep more money. And there's a kind of pain you must befriend. The pain of delayed applause. Most of your best work will be invisible at first. You'll grind in the dark. Friends may not understand. Some will shrug. A few will mock. Let them. Lions, let them. Lions don't consult sheep about the hunt. Keep moving. Silence is not failure. It is incubation. If you need approval to proceed, you've given strangers the keys to your destiny. Take them back. There's another trap. The productive-looking distraction. Researching endlessly. Rewriting the plan a fourth time. Waiting for the perfect camera, the perfect software, the perfect moment. Perfectionism is often procrastination wearing a fancy suit. Ship it ugly. Publish the first version. Sell the beta. Ask for the sale before you feel ready. You won't ever be ready. Competence is what happens to the courageous after they begin. You might be haunted by your past attempts. You tried a business, it fizzled. You started a routine, you fell off. Good. You learned what didn't carry. The goal now is to design a routine that even your lower energy self can maintain. Not your ideal self on a perfect day. Your real self on a messy one. If your system only works when you're inspired, it's fragile. Build anti-fragile routines, ones that bend without breaking. That's why minimums matter. That's why never miss twice matters. That's why identity matters, because identity survives mood swings. Now imagine a year from now. Not fantasy, projection. 1 year of measured inputs. 1 year of experiments. 1 year of fewer arguments and more execution. How different is your skill, your network, your finances? Exponentially different, because input compounds, talent compounds, trust compounds. You won't recognize yourself because the old you wouldn't have survived the discipline required to meet the new you. That is the point. You are outgrowing your previous ceiling. When fear speaks, it pretends to be wisdom. Be realistic, it says. Realistic to whom? People project their ceiling onto your sky. Be respectful, not obedient. The most dangerous advice you'll ever receive is the advice that fits their nervous system, not yours. Filter every opinion through your metrics and your mission. Does it move the numbers that matter? Does it align with the person you're becoming? If not, it's noise, even if it's polite. Here's the leverage you're underestimating. Reputation. In the beginning, you don't have scale. You have a name. Show up on time. Do what you said. Over-communicate when you can't. Learn your craft so deeply that reliability becomes your brand. People pay a premium to reduce uncertainty. If you can be the person who removes uncertainty through responsiveness, clarity, and consistent delivery, you climb faster than the louder, flashier pretenders. Quiet power outlasts loud potential. Decision-making is another system. Don't chase perfect decisions. Chase reversible ones. If a decision is reversible, decide fast and gather data. If it's irreversible and high stakes, slow down, add perspective, and pre-mortem the downside. Most people reverse the rules. They dither over small choices and rush the big ones. That mental inversion costs years. Speed where it's cheap. Care where it's costly. Wealth flows to people who can move quickly without breaking the important things. Let's speak directly to the voice that says, "What if I fail again?" You will. Not once. Not twice. Dozens of times. But failure is not a cliff. It's a staircase. Each misstep drops you 1 step. Each lesson lifts you 2. You rise by learning faster than you fall. You do that by documenting. After every attempt, ask, what did I assume? What actually happened? What will I change next time? That 3-question post-mortem is a printing press for progress. Don't trust your memory. Write it down. Builders keep logs. Logs keep builders honest. Time for a harsh truth wrapped in hope. Nobody is coming to save you, and you don't need them to. Waiting for a perfect mentor, a perfect partner, a perfect investor is surrender disguised as patience. Become the person a mentor wants to invest in. Become the partner who attracts partners. Become the founder whose clarity pulls capital. You become by doing, by studying, by iterating. The cavalry is not coming. You are the cavalry. Let's bring this into your day. Today, not someday. Look at your calendar. It tells the truth about your values. If you're serious, there's sacred time blocked where your system lives. Deep work blocks, training blocks, sales blocks, learning blocks. Non-negotiable. Protected like an appointment with your future. Everything else fits around that, not the other way. People resist this because it feels controlling, but freedom without form dissolves into chaos. Form creates freedom. Structure creates space. Your calendar is a gatekeeper for your greatness. And still, you'll be tempted to quit. Not because progress is impossible, but because progress is slower than your ego hoped. Ego writes deadlines without data. Reality moves at the speed of skill acquisition. That mismatch breeds despair. Solve it by falling in love with boring practice. Make repetitions sacred. The same outreach, the same script refined daily, the same foundational exercises, the same product teardown, the same financial review. Mastery emerges behind the scenes of monotony. The spotlight arrives after monotony, not before it.
You need a feedback loop with truth-tellers, not cheerleaders, not cynics. Builders who have done the work and respect the work. Share your numbers with them. Ask for brutal clarity. Where am I leaking energy? Where am I lying to myself? What would you cut? What would you double? Courage is amplified in honest rooms. Find them or build them. If you don't have a circle, be the nucleus. Start with one person and grow from there. Understand the seasons. There is a planting season, a tending season, and a harvest season. Most people want to harvest in planting season. They get discouraged because the ground looks empty. A disciplined mind knows the schedule. In planting season, you measure seeds planted and soil prepared. In tending season, you measure weeds removed and water given. In harvest season, you measure yield and distribution. Wealth increases when you measure the right metric in the right season. Don't judge a seed by the fruit it hasn't had time to grow. You will meet obstacles with your name on them. Bureaucracy, delays, rejections, broken promises. Treat each one as a training weight. Lift it. Get stronger. Systems make you anti-fragile. Stress feeds growth instead of breaking you. When something goes wrong, retroactively design a system that would have prevented it. Missed a deadline? Implement daily micro-deadlines and midweek check-ins. Lost a client? Build a follow-up cadence and expectation-setting script. Cash flow crunch? Install a rolling 90-day forecast and a cut list decision tree. Every failure births a system. Every system reduces future chaos. Now, identity. Again, because it's the engine. Stop saying, I'm trying. Trying is a loophole. Say, I am disciplined. I am a builder. I am the person who keeps promises to myself. Speak it, then back it with a single immediate action. Identity without evidence is delusion. Identity with evidence is destiny. Your brain starts to protect what you repeatedly declare and demonstrate. It becomes harder to betray yourself when your self-concept becomes precious. Here's how you handle envy. Convert it into study. When you feel that sting seeing someone ahead, do not spiral. Study. What are their inputs? What are their systems? What are their ratios? Content to offers, hours to output, effort to earnings. Dissect, don't resent. Resentment keeps you poor. Analysis makes you rich. If they did it in your era, in your market, under your constraints, it's possible. Proof of possibility is an invitation, not an indictment. Guard your energy like an asset, because it is. Sleep is a system. Nutrition is a system. Movement is a system. You are not a floating mind. You are a whole organism. Entrepreneurs crash not from the load of work, but from neglecting the basics that keep the engine cool. 6 good hours of focused work beats 12 scattered hours of exhausted flailing. Optimize for depth, not theatrics. Focus is force. Money wants clarity. Offer wants clarity. Audience wants clarity. Your messaging must say who it's for, what problem you solve, what result they get, and how to start. Remove the fog. Fog kills conversions. Simplicity scales because it reduces cognitive load. If people need to think too long, they will default to no. Clarity is kindness to your customer and compassion to your future. Let's return to your daily tone. The voice you use on yourself becomes the climate you operate in. If the climate is harsh, you'll hide. If the climate is indulgent, you'll drift. Make it firm and warm. We do this. We keep going. We learn. We adapt. We don't bully. We don't excuse. That voice builds a home you want to work inside of. People underestimate the ROI of self-talk. It is the soundtrack of your execution. There will be days when you feel behind. On those days, shrink the target, not the standard. Hit a micro win to preserve identity. A single outreach. 10 focused minutes, 1 set, 1 page, 1 pitch. Then close the day with dignity. When you wake, expand again. Momentum, once preserved, is easier to amplify than to recreate. Protect it like gold. And listen, wealth comes last. Skill comes first. Reputation second. Leverage third. Money fourth. If you reverse the order, you chase smoke. Build the thing that builds the money. Rare and reliable output. When you make something people trust and want, money hunts you. Until then, hunt the inputs, not the applause. There's a moment in every builder's life when a door opens that was once a wall. It feels sudden. It wasn't. It was your 10,000 quiet repetitions, your boring measurements, your micro-brave decisions, your midnight doubts met with morning discipline. The world calls it luck. You will smile, because you'll know the truth. You built a system that made lucky inevitable. So here's your charge, right now, while your heart is awake and your mind is attentive. Choose 1 needle to move daily, not 5. 1. Define the daily minimum that, even on your worst day, you can deliver. Define the weekly review that protects honesty. Define the environment tweak that removes 1 friction. Define the first test you'll run without overthinking. Then step today. Not because today is special, but because today is available. You are capable of more than you've shown, but capability is not a promise. It's a responsibility. Talent is not the scarce resource. Focus is. Courage is. Consistency is. Those who win are not necessarily the most gifted. They are the most governed by systems that honor their gifts. Build yours. Protect it. Live inside it. If you feel the pull to give up, interpret it correctly. It's not a sign you're failing. It's the threshold where the old you cannot proceed. That version wants comfort. The new you wants capacity. Capacity is earned here, in the grind, in the quiet, in the refusal to break your word to yourself. You are not at the end. You are at the beginning of competence. Stay. 1 year from now, people will tell you they always knew you had it. Smile. You'll know the truth. You didn't rise to the level of your goals. You fell to the level of your systems, and you built those systems brick by brick, day by day, minute by minute, when no one was watching and everyone was doubting. That is wealth. That is freedom. That is you, refusing to give up when it would have been easy, and choosing instead to become the kind of person success cannot ignore. Breathe, focus, execute. Then do it again tomorrow. Keep your attention on the small levers that move big outcomes, because this next stretch is where you'll cement the mindset that makes wealth a byproduct rather than a pursuit. You need a daily architecture. Think of your day like a performance with 3 acts: opening, deep work, and closing. The opening sets your state. No doom scrolling, no chaotic inputs. Feed your mind something clean. A page of notes, a short review of your targets, one affirmation tied to action. Then move your body. Yes, even for 5 minutes. You're not chasing fitness trophies. You're signaling to your nervous system that you are an active participant in your own life. After that, begin with the needle-moving task before the world has a chance to borrow your focus. Wealth favors those who act before they react. Deep work is sacred. Protect it with a ritual that tells your brain, now we build. Phone in another room. Tabs closed. A single task visible. A countdown timer adds urgency and containment. Humans respect walls. Give your focus a wall. If you can deliver 2 90-minute sprints a day on your most valuable work, your output will separate from the average without shouting. Most people never enter true depth. They live in a permanent warm-up. You won't. The closing act is where future consistency is purchased. Do not end your day in a grey area. You close like a pilot. Checklist, not vibes. What did I move? What didn't move and why? What is tomorrow's first domino? Put the file, the script, the draft, the spreadsheet, whatever matters, front and center so tomorrow's you lands in motion, not confusion. This 5-minute ritual preserves momentum and lowers the activation energy of the next day by half. Compounding starts here. Now, we define targets the way professionals do. You do not measure yourself against outcomes you don't fully control. You measure your controllables. Sales calls made, not deals closed. Pages written, not publishing contracts. Product iterations, not viral views. Paradoxically, when you anchor to controllables, uncontrollables improve. Why? Because you remove emotional whiplash. You stop negotiating with yourself. You get more reps. More reps produce better skill. Better skill bends reality. Let's speak about courage. People think courage feels like fire. Often it feels like nausea. Your hands shake when you raise your prices. Your voice quivers when you ask for the sale. Your stomach knots when you publish the piece with your real perspective. That's not a stop sign, that's the toll. Pay it. The people you admire didn't eliminate fear. They learned that fear's volume doesn't equal its accuracy. You are allowed to feel anything. You are not obligated to obey it. When the path feels foggy, shorten the horizon. Ask, what would move this forward by one concrete step? Send the message, draft the outline, ship the version. Stop trying to solve the entire labyrinth when the door in front of you is unlocked. The labyrinth reveals itself one hallway at a time. Walk. There's a myth that balance is the destination. Balance is a dynamic dance, not a fixed state. In seasons of building, you will be temporarily imbalanced by design. That doesn't mean you abandon your health or relationships. It means you communicate, you schedule recovery, and you keep your non-negotiable basics. But you also accept that excellence is lumpy. Think in seasons so you don't shame yourself for intensity when intensity is appropriate. Let's get tactical about money. First, respect cash flow like oxygen. You need a simple dashboard: income, outflow, runway, and growth investments. Review weekly. Automate what you can. Assign every euro a job the moment it arrives. Some euros buy freedom later. Investments. Some buy capacity. Tools, team, training. Some buy resilience, buffers and reserves. Some buy joy, intentional rewards that tell your nervous system you are not living in permanent famine. Without intentional joy, your brain will rebel and sabotage your system. With intentional joy, you reinforce that discipline leads to pleasant outcomes, which keeps you consistent. Pricing is a mirror. If you chronically underprice, you likely doubt your value or you're unclear on your positioning. Fix both. Don't ask, "What will people pay?" Ask, "What transformation or utility am I delivering, and to whom is this crucial?" Then craft an offer that removes friction. Clear benefits, clear timeline, clear next step. Remove mystery. Mystery is romantic in art, but expensive in commerce. You need a pipeline, not a hope line. That means a schedule for creating attention, nurturing trust, and making offers. Attention without trust is noise. Trust without offers is charity. Offers without attention are wishes. Build all three. Choose one main attention channel for now. Master it before multiplying. Publish consistently enough that your audience can rely on you. Then layer depth, case studies, behind-the-scenes process, client transformations, teaching that actually helps. When people grow from your free work, paying becomes a natural escalation. Let's address the inner critic. It will say, "Who are you to teach? Who are you to charge? Who are you to build?" The answer is grounded. You are the person who shows your work, learns fast, and serves clearly. You don't need to be the final word, only a useful word. Humility isn't hiding, it's accuracy. Be accurate about what you know and what you're learning. Teach from your current mountain to those still on the trail below. That's honest value. Your relationships are reservoirs. Identify 3 types: peers who build alongside you, mentors a few steps ahead, and people you serve. Protect each group differently. With peers, trade accountability and share playbooks. With mentors, respect their time by arriving prepared. Specific questions, specific context, specific constraints. With those you serve, listen asymmetrically more than you talk. Their words are market research gold. Build offers from their sentences, not your imagination. Now, time leakage. Audit your day like a forensic accountant. Where does focus go to die? Endless micro-decisions. Batch them. Repetitive tasks? Templatize or automate. Meetings that could be a memo. Write the memo. Context switching. Group tasks by mode. Creation, communication, coordination. Give each mode its own block. Every switch has a cost. Pay fewer tolls. On days when your mind feels noisy, simplify down to 1 rock, 3 pebbles. The rock is the must-move task, tied to your most valuable outcome. The pebbles are small supporting tasks that keep life flowing. If you move the rock, the day advances even if the pebbles fall. This keeps you from drowning in busy work that feels productive but isn't. Let's touch resilience. You will face setbacks that feel personal. They aren't. They're mechanical. Treat them like engineers do. Isolate the variable. Was it message, market, medium, or moment? Message is what you said. Market is who you said it to. Medium is where and how you delivered it. Moment is timing and context. Adjust the right variable instead of burning the whole plan. Precision saves time, money, and morale. There's a discipline most underestimate. Saying no. Every yes costs attention, your scarcest resource. When you say yes to low-leverage opportunities to avoid discomfort, you say no to the work that compounds. Pre-author a few polite declines so you don't negotiate with guilt in the moment. Thank you for thinking of me. I'm heads down on existing commitments and can't do this justice. Firm, kind, final. Guardrails make greatness possible. You will find that the more you respect small promises to yourself, the more the world respects big promises from you. Self-trust precedes external trust. If you can't rely on you, clients won't either. This is why never miss twice is not cutesy. It's identity architecture. Break a promise? Close the loop immediately. Don't spiral. Repair. Your brain records the repair as evidence that you are trustworthy, even when imperfect. Study recovery as deliberately as you study hustle. Recovery is not laziness, it is performance maintenance. Sleep like your results depend on it, because they do. Take walks without inputs, so your mind can synthesize. Schedule blank space for thinking. Insights live in quiet. If guilt appears, remember, elite performers don't sprint every second. They oscillate. They know pace. They protect the goose that lays the golden eggs. Let's reframe luck. Luck is often asymmetric exposure. If you publish more, ask more, test more, and meet more potential collaborators, you increase your surface area for luck. Systems that multiply surface area, consistent outreach, consistent publishing, consistent prototyping, manufacture serendipity. From the outside, it looks like fortune. From the inside, it feels like calendar math. You're going to refine your self-talk into operating instructions. When resistance spikes, your line is simple. We do 1 minute. When fear spikes, we ship V1. When perfectionism spikes, quality comes from iterations. When doubt spikes, data, not drama. These phrases aren't motivational posters. They're interrupts that pattern break unhelpful loops and return you to motion. Now imagine a client or customer writing you a message 6 months from now. Your work helped me do what I've been postponing for years. That message is not random. It is the artifact of thousands of quiet, disciplined acts you will do without applause. It is the echo of the days you chose to measure inputs, to stay with the discomfort of boredom, to keep your standards when it would have been easier to relax them. Hold that future in your mind when today feels small. Today is the cause. That message is the effect. We need to talk about identity drift. As you grow, old communities might feel misaligned. That's normal. Don't resent them. Release them. Find rooms that fit your next level of rigor. If you keep your standards while upgrading your circle, your trajectory accelerates. If you lower your standards to keep your circle, your trajectory flattens. Choose kindly. Choose clearly. Bring compassion to the parts of you that resist. They're protecting you with outdated maps. Sit with them, then move anyway. Discipline isn't the absence of emotion. It's leadership over emotion. On a whiteboard in your mind, write, feel everything. Do the plan. You'll be shocked how much progress appears when you stop demanding certain feelings before acting. Your craft matters. Money is the echo. Craft is the sound. Study fundamentals with a boring intensity. If you write, write daily. If you sell, converse daily. If you design, design daily. A single focused hour, every day, outperforms heroic sprints separated by droughts. The brain loves rhythm. Rhythm becomes identity. Identity becomes inevitability. Let's close this segment with a hard, generous invitation. Choose the smallest durable system you can keep for 90 days. 1 metric, 1 block of deep work, 1 weekly review. Make it ugly and unbreakable. Announce it to yourself. For the next 90 days, I am the kind of person who does X at Y time for Z minutes, reviews on Saturday, and never misses twice. Print it. Put it where you can't ignore it. Then begin. You are not building a moment. You are building a machine. Machines don't feel motivated. They operate. They need maintenance and upgrades, not pep talks and drama. Operate your machine, maintain it, upgrade it, The harvest will arrive on its own schedule, and when it does, you will be ready, not surprised. Breathe. Reset your posture. Return to the work. This is how wealth is made. Quietly, consistently, by people who refuse to negotiate with their lower impulses and chose instead to honor their higher design. Keep going. We keep stacking insight on top of action until your default settings produce results without a fight. The aim is not a single heroic push. It's to become the person for whom the right thing is the easy thing. That happens when you align identity, environment, and incentives so tightly that drifting off the path feels stranger than staying on it. There is a psychology to momentum most people miss. Progress creates dopamine, but so does distraction. If you let your brain get cheap hits, scrolling, snacking, novelty, you numb the reward that should come from deep work. Reclaim your reward system. Make work the primary source of your dopamine by closing loops. A loop opens when you commit. It closes when you deliver. Write your loops where you can see them. Cross them out. Feel the completion. That feeling is not trivial. It trains your nervous system to associate satisfaction with contribution instead of consumption. Use implementation intentions. If it's 8 o'clock, then I sit at my desk with noise cancelling on and open the draft. If I return from lunch, then I send 2 proposals. This if-then wiring removes the fog of choice. The brain loves clarity, and when resistance shows up, and it will, use 5-count breathing to flip your physiology. Inhale for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5, hold for 5. 2 minutes, and your system stabilizes enough to act. Your body is not the enemy. It's a tool. Learn its levers. Habit stacking turns friction into flow. Anchor new behaviors to old ones. After coffee, read 1 page. After gym, record 1 lesson learned. After your last message of the day, review tomorrow's first move. The anchor carries the new habit like a conveyor belt. You're not begging your future self to be different. You're designing the path that makes different unavoidable. Keystone habits are your governors. They regulate everything downstream. Sleep on schedule, and your willpower rises. Train your body, and your mood stabilizes. Plan your day the night before, and your mornings stop bleeding to indecision. Choose 1 keystone to nail first and watch the compound effect ripple. People chase exotic systems while neglecting the basics that would quietly solve 80% of their chaos. Master the boring. The boring makes you rich. Lead indicators beat lag indicators. Revenue is a lagging indicator. Outreach, demos, and product iterations lead it. Followers lag. Posts, collaborations, and comments lead them. Confidence lags. Reps lead. Build a dashboard of 3 to 5 lead indicators and score yourself daily. No judgment, just data. Data dissolves drama. Where you are under-indexed, increase frequency before complexity. Twice as many reps beats, twice as much thinking. Entrepreneurship is the art of controlled bets. Set your loss limits in advance. How much time, cash, and reputation are you willing to risk on a test? Define it. When the test ends, respect the result. If you move the goalposts, you teach your brain that standards are flexible. Flexible standards produce slippery outcomes. Be kind to yourself and strict with your rules. That paradox is the spine of sustainable success. Study the 4 growth levers. Get more people. Get them to buy. Get them to buy more. Get them to buy again. Every effort lives under one of these. Content expands. Reach. Offers convert. Pricing and packaging raise order value. Delivery and follow-up improve lifetime value. When you work, know which lever you're pulling. Random motion feels busy. Targeted motion changes numbers. Ask daily, which lever am I moving and how will I know? Trust is your currency and your moat. Trust a cruise when people can predict you, predictably honest, predictably on time, predictably excellent. The internet rewards spikes, but careers reward consistency. If people can't predict you, they can't plan around you. If they can't plan around you, they won't pay you well. Make reliability your aesthetic. Underpromise a little, overdeliver a little, repeat a lot. When you feel creatively dry, change inputs, not goals. Walk without headphones. Read outside your niche. Have conversations with people who use your product or consume your content. Ask them what they tried before you, what they hated, what they're secretly afraid of, what would make them thrilled. Build sentences straight from their stories into your copy and offers. The best marketing is organized empathy. Fear of visibility kills more dreams than lack of talent. Exposure is vulnerability, but the fastest way to reduce fear is to increase frequency. Publish small, publish often, publish truth. You don't need to be inflammatory, you need to be specific. Specificity signals competence. I help new freelancers land their first 3 clients in 30 days by installing a daily outreach pipeline and a 2-offer menu, beats, I do business coaching. Specificity attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones. Repulsion is a feature, not a bug. Beware of identity debt, the cost of clinging to a version of yourself you've outgrown. You once called yourself the night owl, but your best work happens at 8:30. Update the label. You once called yourself bad at sales, but you've had 6 honest conversations that ended in yes. Update the label. When your labels lag your life, you sabotage your future to stay consistent with your past. Let yourself change publicly. Renewal is good branding. Introduce failure rehearsals. Imagine the plan goes sideways. What will you do? Where will you go? Who will you call? Write the play ahead of time. When turbulence hits, you execute instead of panic. Professional pilots train for engine failure more than for smooth skies. Entrepreneurs should too. When you expect storms, you don't mistake weather for destiny. There's a generosity that multiplies wealth. Create disproportionate value up front, but set clear boundaries. Give away ideas that improve lives. Charge for implementation that saves time. Give away frameworks. Charge for customization. Give away perspective. Charge for access. This is not greed, it's stewardship. When you price correctly, you can serve longer and at higher quality without burning out. Burnout is not noble, it is poor risk management. On days when your confidence dips, borrow process, not pride. Tether yourself to the smallest loop that still builds your future. 1 outreach, 1 set, 1 page. Then do 1 more. Stack micro-proof until confidence returns. Confidence is a lagging indicator of kept promises. You don't wait for it, you generate it by moving while unsure. Let's refine your deep work ritual. Choose a single battle each session: ideation, drafting, editing, or polishing. Never mix them. Multi-phase tasks jam when you try to do all steps at once. Give yourself permission to write badly during drafting. You'll make it beautiful during editing. Give yourself permission to sell awkwardly during early calls. You'll smooth it during review. Segmentation eliminates shame and increases throughput. Create a decision memo for any choice that's draining you. 1 page. Problem, options, criteria, risks, recommendation, deadline. Then decide. If you revisit the same decision twice without new information, you are self-sabotaging through rumination. Decisions are expensive. Pay once. Your network compounds when you become a connector. Introduce 2 people who can help each other once a week. Keep it short, respectful, and optional. Value circulates and returns with interest, but guard against networking theater. Rooms where everyone is handing out business cards and nobody has a business. Depth greater than breadth. One strong collaborator beats 50 polite acquaintances. Invest in skills that buy leverage: writing, speaking, selling, and systems thinking. Writing clarifies thought. Speaking multiplies influence. Selling funds the mission. Systems thinking frees your time. A person with these four can lose everything and rebuild faster than most can build once. Auditing yourself here is not self-criticism, it's strategic humility. Where you're weak, schedule reps. Where you're strong, raise the ceiling. Design your distraction recovery protocol. When you catch yourself drifting, don't spiral. Reset in under 60 seconds. Stand. Breathe. Close all non-essential windows. Write the next 2 concrete steps. Start the timer. The longer you stay in the shame spiral, the more your brain associates work with pain. Break the association. Make recovery graceful and immediate. Your money rules should be simple and written. A percentage to investments, a percentage to reserves, a percentage to growth, a percentage to joy. Automate within 48 hours of revenue landing. Manual decisions invite mood and temptation. Automation protects future you from present you's rationalizations. Wealth isn't built by heroic picks. It's built by boring allocations executed relentlessly. If comparison is loud, curate your feed like your future depends on it, because it does. Follow builders, not spectators. Mute what steals focus. Replace scrolling with studying. Start a swipe file of ads, emails, landing pages, scripts, and offers that worked on you. Reverse engineer why. Patterns reveal levers. Levers move numbers. Rejection will accompany you like a shadow. Befriend it. Count it. Set a no quota. 50 no's a quarter means you asked enough. If your yes rate is low, refine your pitch, your targeting, or your timing. But do not stop asking. Closed mouths starve. Persistent mouths learn. Skilled mouths feast. Gratitude is not fluffy, it is performance science. A grateful brain scans for resources instead of threats. Each evening, list 3 wins and why they happened. Tie each win to a behavior you control. This trains causality. I did X, so Y happened. Causality fuels agency. Agency fuels action. It is very hard to quit when you repeatedly prove to yourself that your actions matter. Create a future letter. Write to yourself 90 days from now. Describe what you executed, what you let go, how you handled setbacks, and what new standards feel normal. Read it weekly. It's not mystical, it's mechanical. Self-directed narratives align perception with intention. When your narrative and your calendar agree, results follow. Finally, recommit to the truth. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Your systems are now clearer. Your identity is now firmer. Your environment is now friendlier. Your incentives now point forward. The temptation to stop will resurface. When it does, you won't negotiate. You will breathe, pick the smallest meaningful action, and move. You will close the loop in front of you. You will log it. You will return tomorrow. And in a season not far from now, people will describe you as lucky, gifted, or chosen. Smile. You'll know better. You became inevitable. Now we turn resolve into choreography. This is where you blueprint behaviors so precisely that tomorrow's action is practically inevitable. You've gathered principles. Now you engrave them into motion. Think of your life as an operating system that boots the same way every day, regardless of mood. You wake, you run the boot sequence, and the machine produces output. Start with the first hour because it purchases the next 10. The first hour is not for the world, it is for wiring your state. You hydrate, you move your body, you review your single daily rock, and you open the specific file tied to that rock. Do not browse outcomes. Open the work. Your brain learns what matters by what appears on your screen. When the first tab of the day is your craft, identity hardens. When the first tab is chaos, identity softens. You are teaching yourself who you are with these small, quiet choices. You will design a weekly review that replaces guesswork with honesty. At week's end, you look at your controllables and your lead indicators. How many sessions did you complete? How many conversations did you start? How many drafts did you produce? How many offers did you present? How many follow-ups did you execute? You will score without drama, because drama is an energy leak. If the numbers lapsed, you tighten the system instead of attacking your character. If the numbers rose, you protect what made that rise possible. The review ends by scheduling next week's deep work blocks first and placing your first domino for Monday, where your future hands will find it. Your offer needs to become the simplest promise you can keep repeatedly. Clarity beats cleverness. State who it's for, the problem it solves, the result it creates, the time frame it happens in, and the next simple step. The next step should be so obvious, a tired version of you could explain it. If someone hesitates, it's rarely because they don't want help. It's because fog triggers fear. Remove fog. When you remove fog, people step forward. Your pricing becomes a reflection of outcomes, not hours. You are not selling time. You are selling transformation, access, or certainty. Decide your promise, then decide the boundaries that protect you while you keep it. Boundaries are kindness to both parties. Your client knows what to expect. You know what to deliver. When you underprice, you invite resentment and overcommitment. When you price fairly, you invite focus and excellence. Wealth respects containers. Now build your pipeline like clockwork. Attention, trust, and offers become recurring calendar events, not random lightning. You will publish consistently on one primary channel, so people can rely on your cadence. You will nurture trust by teaching the how, revealing the why, and showing real stories, even if imperfect. You will make offers on a schedule, so revenue becomes periodic rather than accidental. It will feel mechanical at first. Good. Machines are dependable. Dependent income comes from dependable behavior. When fear of rejection rises, you will transform it into a metric. Rejections become proof that you are in the arena. Track them. Celebrate them. Every no is a rep that refines your message, your targeting, or your timing. Most people stop at the first wall because they still take outcomes as verdicts on their worth. You will take them as diagnostics on your system. Change the input, not your identity. You will separate building from broadcasting so neither cannibalizes the other. There will be sessions where you create in silence and sessions where you amplify what you made. Mixing the two breeds, half-finished ideas wrapped in hurried promotion. Finish first, then share with clarity. Completion is a muscle. Let it grow. Your environment will do more work than your willpower, so architect it with intent. The tools you need live within arm's reach. The temptations you don't live out of reach. Your phone charges far away. Your desk holds the current project and nothing else. Your gym clothes meet you by the door. You respect the physics of friction. Small frictions against bad habits. Small lubrications for good ones. The difference between I forgot and I did it is often 1 meter of distance or 1 click of effort. On days when your mind is loud, you will shrink the battlefield. You will set a timer for a short, undeniable block and promise only to begin. You will start anywhere. because the brain's obsession with the perfect starting point is a sophisticated delay tactic. Motion is the medicine. Once you move, you will keep moving longer than you planned. You will end those days by logging the win, not judging the pace. This preserves dignity and momentum. Two assets the undisciplined lose first. Your relationships will be curated like assets because they are. You will spend disproportionate time with those who respect standards and speak in specifics. You will trade playbooks with peers and document what actually worked instead of telling highlight reels. You will approach mentors prepared, and you will repay their guidance with execution, not flattery. You will serve your audience by listening deeply, harvesting their phrases, and building solutions from their sentences. Markets whisper, disciplined builders hear them. You will keep a running lessons learned log so your experience compounds. Each failed test deposits wisdom if you capture it. What you assumed, what happened, what you will change next time. 3 lines. No theatre. Over months, this log becomes a private textbook on your own psychology and your market's reality. Most people repeat old mistakes because they never archive their new ones. You won't. You will protect energy like capital. Sleep becomes scheduled, not squeezed. Movement becomes non-negotiable because a regulated nervous system gives you more days on than any hack ever will. You will feed your brain clean inputs because garbage inputs corrode focus. You are building an engine, and engines require maintenance. Burnout is not proof of toughness. It is a warning that your systems are under-engineered. Your calendar becomes your conscience. If it isn't on the calendar, it is a wish. If it is on the calendar, it is a promise. You will learn to say no without guilt by remembering that every yes has an invisible price tag. You will pre-write your declines so emotion doesn't override wisdom. You will make space for thinking time, because thinking prevents expensive doing. You will embrace seasons without shame. There will be planting seasons of heavy output and little visible return. There will be tending seasons of refinement and stability. There will be harvest seasons when results arrive all at once, and your job is distribution, delivery, and gratitude. Judging a season by the wrong metric is how discouragement steals builders. You will measure seeds in planting season, not fruits. You will measure care in tending season, not applause. You will measure yield in harvest season, not effort. This alignment keeps you steady. When setbacks show up, and they will, you will respond with system design, not self-attack. If a deadline slipped, you'll install daily micro-deadlines and midday checkpoints. If cash flow pinched, you'll implement a rolling forecast and a pre-written cut list. If a client churned, you'll add expectation-setting scripts and proactive check-ins. Every failure births a protocol that prevents its twin. Over time, chaos declines because your systems multiply. You will practice public renewal. As you evolve, you will update your labels out loud. No more identity debt. You will permit yourself to say, I used to operate like this. Now I operate like that. Consistency does not mean sameness. It means integrity. Your integrity is to the mission, not the old mask. Finally, you will recommit to the law you began with. You will not rise to the level of your goals. You will fall to the level of your systems. The difference now is that your systems are visible, repeatable, and written. Your mornings cue your craft. Your weeks close with truth. Your offers are simple and scheduled. Your pricing respects outcomes. Your pipeline is rhythmic. Your environment is on your side. Your energy is guarded. Your refusals are firm. Your reviews are honest. Your identity is current. And when the urge to quit returns, as it always does before the next level, you will not negotiate. You will breathe. You will take the smallest meaningful step in front of you. You will close that loop, and you will log it. What's next is simple and profound. You execute this architecture for 90 days without breaking the chain. You let the boring become sacred. You let repetition turn into identity. You let identity make success inevitable. Then, when the doors that used to be walls begin to open, you walk through them calmly, because you didn't get lucky. You got ready.